Rick, is that a 9 out of 10 on the frustration scale?
No, it's worse than that, mate. Should never have got to that.
And we'll get a penalty here for North Queensland.
There's a flop.
I'm sick of defending, playing 40 minutes of football. The way we started that second half was pathetic. There's some individuals who just didn't start with the way they need to start the second half to get us back onto the front foot. It's not on. I'm sick of it.
Very, very frustrating. It's hard to swallow. I think we just got to look at ourselves individually, people taking naps and, we're just leaking them points too much.
I didn't know Jack said that, and he's 100% right.
Now, they got in each other's way, and it's a knock on.
There's individuals there got to have a good look at themselves because it was not in their standards. It's not nowhere near the standards that we want to set as a football team. If I keep sitting here defending them, it's not going to solve anything.
There's some inexperience there by Xavier Savage.
Xavier Savage should have stepped inside, mate. That's why Xavier Savage hasn't been playing first grade, because he's still learning the game. But I'm only a dumb coach. Everybody else wants X Factor. But we haven't got X Factor at the moment.
Something we've got to change or we're going to have no hope.
Yes, Ricky Stewart, we know he wears his heart on his sleeve. Far from impressed after his side conceded 18 unanswered points to go down to the Cowboys to kick off the Easter long weekend of footy. Gal, Gus, you know Ricky very well. When you watch him there, the emotions clearly, obviously.
Yep.
He's sick of watching a team squander points.
Yeah, and he's certain, obviously, like the rest of them. And look, Ricky, as I said, I think it was in last week's show, the week before, he will stand by anyone. He's as loyal as they come and will stand by if you do the right thing by him. But he obviously feels that the players aren't doing the right thing out there. They're not obviously converting what they're doing at training onto the paddock, and he's frustrated with it. And I've got to agree that their first half the other night was pretty good. They probably should have been in front by more points, but they started well. But their first set of 6 in the second half was ridiculous. They just got ran straight through, and then obviously, the Cowboys come back and were able to score 3 tries. But look, they shouldn't have lost a game like that. But I've got to say, I had worries about them from the start of the year when Hodgson and Fogarty go down. I mean, you take the starting half and hooker out of any side to start the season, have them missing virtually the whole year. It's going to be a very, very tough season. I mean, you do your whole pre-season with them. You throw on top of that, I think they've got a number of players that are still from their grand final side, but I think they've hit their ceiling. They've gone as high as they can go, or as good as they can go. Guys like Whitehead, Arwea and Ira, Clockstad, they got in that first year. He was outstanding for them that first year, but that's his first year in first grade. He's got to back it up week in, week out, year in, year out. That's hard for a guy like that. Rapana and Kotrick, they're probably not what they once were. So I think that they've just hit their limit, them players, and on top of that, they've got a lot of guys, young guys like Savage, and that are just coming into first grade and don't quite understand the game yet. And you saw that error he made on the weekend running out of the touchline. That was a pretty crucial stage of the game. So I just think that their roster isn't probably where it needs to be.
Yeah, you've played under Ricky. What impact does a spray like that have on the players? Knowing that, he's passionate, he cares for his players, but also there's been some rumblings in the past, players' wives having a crack at Ricky. What effect does he going out there like that, having a crack at his players, have this week?
Well, he would hopefully know all of them and what they're like. For someone like me, it'd rev me up and fire me up, make me want to go out there and play for him next weekend and do as much as I can to prove him wrong. I know that's someone like me, and there's a lot of football players like that still. And I'm sure he'd know a number of Canberra players who are like that, who are going to want to do that. But there are some young guys these days and different personalities these days that wouldn't cope with it and wouldn't like it. So, look, hopefully he knows his squad and his roster inside out, and he knows they're going to fire up from this week, and there's going to be no sort of rumblings going on this week at training.
Can Ricky salvage this season for the Raiders, Gus?
Oh, 100%. Look, I think what happened on the weekend was, and they've been a bit up and down, a bit average, I think they put a lot into that. I think Ricky invested a lot into that week. I think this was the week where they were going to snap out of it and have a good win at home. And they're playing a decent side. Don't underestimate the Cowboys. I mean, they're improving every week. Statistically, they're improving every week. They've got some nice playmakers and they've got some points in them. But I think Ricky had put a lot into that week, judging by the way they started. Their first 30 or 40 minutes was a bit like the West Tigers today. It was on emotion, they were all pumped up, they were all ready to go, and they've gone to the sheds leading 12-0, and we're NC told they just had to get our mind on the job. And then I think he was shocked with what happened after half-time. I think his team underestimated the Cowboys. They didn't start the way they wanted. They went out and they got hit on the chin straight after half-time. And as soon as they got hit, they just fell back into some old habits. And then the Cowboys are a pretty relentless group. This is not a bad football team. It's getting better. They've got plenty of playmakers and they move the ball around, and they just pulled the Canberra Raiders' pants down, who weren't prepared to go for the full 80 minutes. I think Canberra honestly thought they'd had a big week, they'd done it all by half-time and the Cowboys would go away. Well, that didn't happen. That's not the Cowboys this year.
We spoke of this trend that's continued since they won that, since they were in that 2019 grand final and lost in heartbreaking fashion to the Roosters. Since then, over 2 and a bit seasons, 8 times they've given up a lead of 10 or more points, and you can see it's a bit of a gap going back to the Titans and the Broncos in that space of time as well. So, is that a mentality thing for a team, Gus? Because they haven't been able to fix it up on the run.
No, but again, you know, their 2 main playmakers, the one that bought Fogarty, the halfback, he was going to change things for them. Well, he hasn't played for them. And Hodgson hasn't played. He's got his ACL and he's out for the season. So they're big game managers in those sorts of moments. If you had one of those 2 players out there, maybe they hold on. Maybe they win 12-6. Maybe they get home 18-12. I don't know. But he'll work it out. Yeah, they've got some good kids coming through. I know that they've got a luxury. You know, they've got some luxuries there. They've got a lot of good young back rowers coming through.
All right, well, it doesn't get any easier, Gal. They've got the Raiders have got the Panthers on Sunday. The Panthers are the only unbeaten team in the competition. Can the Raiders can anyone beat Penrith at the moment?
Oh, someone will beat them this year without a doubt. Yeah, no doubt about it. But at the moment, look, I don't think the Raiders will get the job done this week. It'd be a big ask for them. You know, being a Ricky fan, I'd love to see it happen, to be honest, but I don't think they'll win this week.
How much do you show last year's? That spiteful clash, arrogant, Stephen Crichton rubbing the face there of Joe Tarpanay.
Yeah.
Do you bring that up this week at all?
Yeah, I think Ricky will. Yeah, Ricky will probably want to bring some emotion into the game, as he did on last week, and hopefully it pays off for them. But the thing about emotion, it runs out. It runs out very quickly. You got to go back to playing.
2 weeks in a row.
But you got to go back to play. You got to go back to playing
last week,
football.
and they've got their pants pulled down. It's hard to, you know, you can't go to that well again. They're just going to have to get there and try and out-football the Panthers, which they won't. Penrith will beat anyone right at the moment by as many as they want to.